This week's Parashat Beshalach is taken from Exodus 13 verse 17 to Exodus 17 verse 16, and the haftarah is taken from Judges 5 verse 1 to 31. Now, in this week's Parashat, we see the Israelites leaving Egypt because Pharaoh just told them to go, and they were all leaving, and Moses took the bones of Joseph as they had promised him that they would take it. Now the children of Israel left hurriedly to go to the land of Canaan and into the wilderness to worship God. Now on their way, the Lord went before them by day as a pillar of cloud and by night as a pillar of fire. Now, Pharaoh hastily released the children of Israel, but afterwards, when he reconsidered, he said he did something wrong. But the word also says that God hardened the heart of Pharaoh, so he and his men went after the children of Israel. And God protected them by putting a pillar of cloud between them. And so to the children of Israel it was light, but to the Egyptians it was darkness. And the word says that an east wind came and parted the Red Sea. And here, what is interesting, we see where it is saying that the Lord will fight for you. The only thing you need to do is to hold your peace and remain at rest. And this is an important truth in the word of God. Exodus 14 verse 14, the Lord will fight for you and you have only to be silent. Deuteronomy 20 verse 4, for the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to give you the victory. And we see here where God fought for Israel. God discomfited the Egyptians. He deliberately bothered them. He deliberately fought against them. And when they realized what was going on, they tried to escape the Red Sea. But God pulled back the water. He had Moses stretch the rod and pull back the water, and he completely destroyed his enemies. The greatest, most powerful enemies of the Israelites were destroyed, the Egyptians. And it is the same way in our lives that God will destroy our enemies, that we will see our enemies fallen because God has fought for us. The only thing we need to do is to remain at rest, to be at peace and to be silent. And now after all this great victory, they sang a song. Moses sang a song, Miriam sang a song, and they were talking about God being victorious, the sun rider being thrown into the sea. Not only that, because of this great victory, all the cities around were afraid of the Israelites because they were afraid of the God of the Israelites. And it's the same way in our lives. We want the God in our lives to fight for us so that our enemies will know that God is with us. After this great victory, did you know that the children of Israel went and murmured? And it says murmuring is telunam, exalted and lofty. So we are exalting the problem above God, not realizing that God is greater than our situations. We see God giving them a tree in the water. They reached a part where the water was bitter. They called it Mara, and God told Moses to put a tree in the water, and the water got sweet. We see where they had no food and they were murmuring and grumbling, and God sent them manna. He sent them quail to feed them. And so God takes care of us. And as I say, murmuring is exalted and lofty. So we are putting these situations above the great, awesome power of God. And after they murmured, the Amaleks came and fought against them. And God sent Joshua to pull the troops together and to fight against the Amalekites. And God destroyed them. Joshua totally destroyed the Amalekites. And in the word it says that God this has taken a decision that as long as Amalekites are around from generation to generation, he will be at war with them because of what they did to the children of Israel in the wilderness. And it's the same way in Judges. We see where Barak and Deborah, they had destroyed Sisera, the great king who had Israel under bondage for so many years. And because of the great war that was done, they sang the great victory that God had won for them. They sang unto God, they did their song unto God, celebrating the awesome greatness of God going ahead of them and fight for them. So this week, may God go ahead of you and fight for you. All you have to do is be at rest and watch God fight.